has changed their country to France. And now the French leaderboards are overpowered. All right. So this is a first to 11. I'm saying that more for me than I am you. And we're off. So we do see PCO from BLAARG and the SDPC spin from Twilight Sparkle, as BLAARG does have that 2-7 stack. They are going to be doing their LST exactly as they want to. And BLAARG is the first one to send that surge. That sends some pretty messy garbage over on Twilight Sparkle's board, as BLAARG is doing some counting to 4, keeping the stack going, all spin CPU going. This is a lot of pressure from BLAARG, and that does take that first round. Yeah, BLAARG is quite the force to be reckoned with here. Very well-known player. If you haven't seen, oh no, I say that and he misdrops. This is Caster Curse. Sorry, BLAARG. All right, so BLAARG does find that well, as Twilight Sparkle does have that back-to-back. So with BLAARG's misdrop, Twilight Sparkle does have the ability to gain that advantage here, and they do plonk a little bit, trying to maybe catch BLAARG off guard, but BLAARG has a lot of attack there, forces Twilight Sparkle to defensively break their back-to-back, which is not what they wanted to do when building that, but sometimes you gotta do it. So BLAARG is stacking very quickly right now. This is his comfort zone. Definitely is just, you know, being on the up stack and going with the all spin continuations that he's able to see. That's a very nice count to 4 right there. As we see the -19 on Twilight Sparkle's board, they do have the T-spin ready to go to defend most of the garbage that came in, but just those last like 7 lines were enough to top them out there. And that is going to be 2-0 in BLAARG's favor. Interesting stacking from Twilight Sparkle there. Doesn't quite work out for them. A little bit of misdrop action going on there, and BLAARG's definitely not going to let you misdrop like that. So BLAARG not taking the PC, just using it to 5-4 up stack, whereas Twilight Sparkle is sitting here plonking their SDPC spin. They don't have the like ideal well for SDPC spin, but they are able to get into that side well. They just straight up misdrop their T-spin. That is so sad. Misdropping the T-spin is so sad. Just not rotating the T-piece correctly, having to break back-to-back because of that probably hurts. But BLAARG breaks back-to-back there, as Twilight Sparkle has a nice little combo down stack to get into this garbage and clean up their board, as BLAARG sends in a lot of clean garbage there. And BLAARG is continuing with this back-to-back going. A little bit of hesitation, may have been a misdrop or a mishold or something, but BLAARG does have that 10 back-to-back now. We do see the -10 on Twilight Sparkle's board, as BLAARG does send all of it, and Twilight Sparkle does not have the pieces to handle it. Yeah, just you got to be ready at all times, which is way easier said than done. Way easier said than done. All right, so SDPC spin versus whatever BLAARG's doing. It works out. And Twilight Sparkle doesn't find the C-spin. That's not good. Well is covered. BLAARG's at the bottom of the board. BLAARG is plonking for some reason. Twilight Sparkle misdrops the eyepiece and then does that. And yeah, that's you can't really do anything about that one with that SL. It was very sad. It was very sad. We all felt that. All right, so BLAARG with the MS2, Twilight Sparkle with the SDPC spin, so C-spins on both sides right here, as Twilight Sparkle does wait to accept BLAARG's C-spin before doing their own, and you know what BLAARG says about that? You can just eat more of my attack, and yeah, good luck. 6 fast points for BLAARG here. All right, TKI into Ellis, nope. Oh, okay. Not taking the PC, because yeah, you'll see players doing that now their PCs don't send 10. Like, what's the point in taking the PC? I mean, PCs do give you back-to-back. That PC would have given BLAARG back-to-back, but no, just decided not to take it. So BLAARG covers as well a little bit there, but handles it very well. And Twilight Sparkle also, as they're well covered, they're able to find the pieces that they need in time, as BLAARG is just building up this back-to-back. There's that LST over on the right side of the board, as BLAARG sends a 24 spike. That is actually going to come in pretty clean on Twilight Sparkle's board, and all of a sudden BLAARG is going to be at the disadvantage, does not have the pieces that he needs to get out of that, and that is going to be Twilight Sparkle's first point. Our pony should do horse opener more. So true. I maybe wouldn't do it against BLAARG, but yeah, no, I like that. BLAARG finds the PC there and then just brings it straight back into TKI into LST. Twilight Sparkle is at the top of the board, still holding on to that back-to-back, breaks it, and immediately is greeted with that -10 on the board. But they have the down stack that they need to continue on with this here, and they're staying alive really well against BLAARG. I mean, they know what their opponent is capable of here, and they're doing a really good job maneuvering around it. The plonking is very well thought out because they know what they have to do here. They know that it's kind of a tall order to beat BLAARG here, but they're doing what they have to, and they're doing very well with it. So BLAARG has a little bit of a misdrop over on his board. He's kind of just ignoring it and turning it into a T-spin because what else would you do? And Twilight Sparkle has some nice all spins on their side, plonking a little bit, waiting for that garbage to come in, that clean to come in, because they know that BLAARG is sending that clean right now. And you know what BLAARG does? BLAARG does a combo down stack and that doesn't send clean. So, well, actually, that last chunk is very clean. If Twilight Sparkle can get down into it, then yeah, that's not great. But BLAARG is able to get into his well, which is going to give him enough ammunition to put some pressure onto Twilight Sparkle's board, despite their down stack. BLAARG finding a lot of back-to-back here, continuing with it, going with this 8-1 stacking, which is not the easiest to maintain. Sends a very nice spike to Twilight Sparkle's board, and they don't have the pieces that they need to uncover their well, and that is a 7th point in BLAARG's favor. Right, so Twilight Sparkle misdrops the SDPC spin right off the bat. BLAARG has a C-spin opener of his own. And BLAARG is up at the top of the board. It has to break their back-to-back, and yeah, not finding the continuation in time. Wait, what is horse opener? It's a meme opener. It's not a good opener. It's just you make a horse on your board. It just looks like a horse. There's no actual good continuations out of it. It's when you place the horse touch for me. Okay, so Twilight Sparkle finds a 3rd point there off of BLAARG's misdrops because BLAARG is not able to recover in time. And then Twilight Sparkle misdrops their opener, not being able to find the C-spin. And that is going to give BLAARG a bit of time to upstack, to get that back-to-back going, setting up that STSD, getting that LST there. I mean, that 2-7 well, I mean, you just gave the 2-7 well to him. So, like, this is what you get when you give him the 2-7 well. And he doesn't find it in time. He was trying to slide his pieces around, get like a nice little floating T-spin. The slightest hesitation makes it so that BLAARG can't find those pieces in time. And all of a sudden, Twilight Sparkle is at a decent point here as they are plonking their TSS from their stick spin. BLAARG is, opening with that, the Imperial Cross, finding his own T-spins, finding his own efficiency. And these are some really nice all spins continuations, except for that misdrop. So that is going to force BLAARG to break back-to-back, and Twilight Sparkle sees the opportunity. It has a combo down stack going. They have to pause for a misdrop, but they are able to find the I-spin to continue out of it. BLAARG setting up some T-spins here and putting Twilight Sparkle in kind of an odd spot, but they're going to have access to the next well and 3 I-pieces for some reason. So they will be alive for now. Yep, they have access to that next well, so if BLAARG sends right here, then they are safe pretty much. And yep. Finding that next, it's always about, if you're on the back foot here and your opponent has that +17 and you see the -17 on your board, it's all about just making sure you have well access at all times, which is exactly what Twilight Sparkle was doing. BLAARG is forced to break that +17 because of a misdrop, finds back-to-back, breaks it again. The down stack out of the surge is not enough to kill here, as BLAARG is definitely trying to kill. Is that a DT? Is that like a floating DT setup? I have never, what? I've never seen that before. I've never seen a DT setup that looks like that. No. How did you see that? What? Okay. So BLAARG doing BLAARG things, and both of them plonking, staring at each other's board, waiting for someone to make a move. I'm still thinking about that. Anyways, so Twilight Sparkle here isn't really being given the opportunity to create back-to-back, as BLAARG is just forcing them to downstack through their stack, and BLAARG is forced to break back-to-back as well. So now that's going to give Twilight Sparkle a little bit of time to build that back up, and we do see that back-to-back 4 as BLAARG is continuing to skim down with those all spins, probably going to start finding their back-to-back very soon, as Twilight Sparkle does break theirs, and BLAARG has the stack to defend against it. So BLAARG with a little bit of that misdrop on that J piece recovers very well. Twilight Sparkle has a little bit of cheese to get through before they can get to their well. They find their well. And BLAARG is continuing on with those all spins, some really cute S and Z spins into a J spin right there, and he hesitates before breaking that back-to-back, but he breaks it. Twilight Sparkle is able to handle it. They're at the top of the board, though. They do have access to the next well and the one beyond that. They T-spin into that next well, and they are fine. BLAARG is finding more all spins here, as he is definitely thinking about trying to end this round. As, you know, I'm sure they both have been trying to end the round the whole time, but now they're like really trying to end the round, you know? And BLAARG is setting up a floating fractal. That's a cute setup. I do like that. As Twilight Sparkle does find a really strong down stack, that forces BLAARG to break his back-to-back, take the down stack that he was preparing, and use it as defense. And so now BLAARG is going to be continuing stacking. Twilight Sparkle is going to be continuing stacking. Twilight Sparkle has a little bit of a mess going on over there. Well, they do find the pieces to get out of it. There's that J into I that they needed to get their board back into a good shape, but BLAARG finds the surge at just the right time. Yeah, Twilight Sparkle cut off their well access just at the wrong time. You kind of have to cover that well sometimes, but it always hurts when your opponent finds the wrong time to send, or rather the right time for them in this case. So BLAARG is going to be 2 points away from that victory. That last point, definitely a lot slower than the others we've seen before. Twilight Sparkle finding their rhythm and understanding how they have to play against BLAARG to, at the very least, stay alive. All right, so BLAARG finding a bit of a combo and more very clean stacking, as Twilight Sparkle is down stacking here, and these are some really strong down stacks. Unfortunately, not going to be used offensively, as they are just trying to down stack through the garbage that BLAARG is sending, but they do have the IPs ready to go for when BLAARG does send, and so they will live to see another day. As BLAARG is just continuing on with this back-to-back, little bit of hesitation with these moves here, as he is trying to plan out getting that really high back-to-back. Interesting one, BLAARG. Yep, so there's that back-to-back 15, as Twilight Sparkle is just going to continue skimming. BLAARG is not giving them any opportunity to find back-to-back, and all right, so BLAARG sends garbage. That is going to be pretty clean onto Twilight Sparkle's board, and yeah, that giant surge break doesn't do anything because Twilight Sparkle has their well at the ready, and then that comes in clean at the bottom of their board, and it's like nothing ever happened. Which is a lot of what BLAARG criticizes about this season, but BLAARG does find the point, and that does bring us to match point. All right, PCO versus SDPC spin. BLAARG is, yeah, definitely not going to be taking that PC off the PCO. Even if he does find it, he's just using it as the start to a 5-4 stack. It is a really strong way to start a 5-4 stack, and so it's kind of nice to see people using that. It's cool, I like it. So Twilight Sparkle is the first one to break back-to-back. BLAARG does not have the pressure that he needs to break until just now, and so that doesn't really do anything to Twilight Sparkle's board. BLAARG is going to continue with these. That's ST stacking. You're just ST stacking. Okay, breaks with a 23 spike. And that is the game, because Twilight Sparkle does not have access to the well. All right. Yeah, BLAARG with a masterclass in